ever landed the perfect sniper clip in BO6. Today I'll break down which maps just help you do that, and why some maps just feel better to play. So obviously you've got core maps v strike maps. As a sniper, it's hard to debate which one's better. Strike maps you're probably going for the kill chains easier, as core you're getting the actual uninterrupted feeds easier. Strike maps being so small, they're just likely to get interrupted. Obviously, what game mode do you play actually is important as well. It's like right now I'm on 10v10. Go for the hit markers. And I died. But you may also want to play small map mosh pit, as with the strike maps. And you want to try and avoid anything that's just 6v6 practically. Just because the chances of actually getting a feed are less likely when teammates are going for the same kills you are.
Get a UAV in the air. TACOM, get a UAV in the air.
Obviously, we have classic maps that return to the game as well, but they've botched them quite a bit, and I'll go into that in a different video. So let's talk about strike maps first of all. These are just small maps, small tiny maps that are a bit unconventional to the Call of Duty ways. These maps usually don't tend to stick to the 3-lane system, which for us snipers is a lot better. If we go, for example, this map, you've got the main house, and then you've got, yeah, 2 sides. That is kind of 3-lane, but it's a lot less 3-lane than what we're used to, obviously. You've got maps like Heirloom, which is a lot less 3-laned, and it's just a lot more open, and it's actually... Oh, double headshot. Oh, we've spawns. And then you've got maps like Pit, which is practically just one big open pit, more like a 2-lane system than anything. And then Bullet, which is like a 2-wave map. You got the top, and then obviously the bottom. And let's not lie, the bottom's mainly where everyone goes. You rarely encounter games where people go to the top of Bullet. I'm getting dog shitted on this game. These strike maps, for snipers anyway, a lot better to get your kill chains or go for your kill chains and just hit wonderful clips. But they're predictable. The clips aren't unique enough. They're the same type of clips you always hit and you will always see. Because the maps are so small and generic, you can't really hit nothing unique. You see people on Bullet go for like a 2 or 3 man and then 360 off the top, or do something. I've seen it in Scope's video, Eats montage, where he hits a little like 3-piece or something and he goes for a 360. That's the type of stuff that's unique that you need to go for on those type of maps, otherwise you're just doing the same generic stuff everyone else is. And the spawn points, they're all similar. But because those maps are so small, the likelihood is you're going to get interrupted feeds. So then we go on to the normal map, the core maps as such. Another sleeper agent. The core maps are just a lot bigger, and the maps suck on this game. There's no 2 ways about it. It's probably the worst set of maps we've ever got in a COD, I would say. But the way to make it a bit more bearable is to actually play on 10v10. Let's talk about maps like Rewind, Scud, Derelict and Skyline. They provide extended sightlines and usually good open lanes, meaning it's just easier to hit your shots over long distance. And with those type of maps, if you don't hit your long shots, you will be punished. But being so open, snipers have the advantage, usually. With the advantage, though, you gotta make the most out of it. You gotta push their spawns, get the spawn traps in. God, as I miss every shot practically. Maps like Payback features long corridors which are quite narrow in the extent of things. And that makes it good for... that makes it good for keeping your line quite narrow. Like, if I look through this door, everything's narrow. It'd be hard to miss my shot. I do it all the time, but it'd be a lot harder than it to be open and be this wide. What all core maps struggle with are the spawns. The spawns are usually so messed up. For example, they brought back Grind, and my god have they nuked the spawns on that. Spawn trapping is nowhere near the same as what it used to be. And that's why in a future video I'll talk about the maps they brought back and how they've practically nuked them all. So obviously we've got large open core maps, and that offers favours to traditional sniping. Long, open range. And you've got medium-sized yet sightline-rich maps, like Rewind, Derelict, Payback. That strikes a bit of balance to the sniping. And then you've got combat maps, like strike maps, but not strike maps. So Babylon would count as one, Nuketown would count as one. It rewards precision timing and having good accuracy. So if you're heading for jaw-dropping, easy clips as such, I'd head to strike modes. Any map that has strike game modes. But if you're wanting to get core games, core maps, then I recommend 10v10 for definite. And try to get those medium-sized maps with narrow corridors. Stuff that makes it slightly easier for you to actually hit. So you want every benefit you can get realistically. Oh my god, what have I spawned next to? So one thing I need to discuss is actually spawn trapping. So as snipers, a fundamental way of getting clips is by hitting the spawn traps, understanding spawns, where they're going to spawn, and the timing of the spawns. So obviously strike maps are way easier to predict the spawns compared to core maps. For some reason core maps, they've enabled it so pretty much anyone can spawn anywhere. That's what it feels like anyway. So strike maps are just a lot more easier to predict the spawns, which is why I like them so much. Core maps with them spawning pretty much anywhere, it's not impossible, but it's a lot less likely you're going to predict someone's spawn. Core maps are also a lot bigger, so reaching these spawn traps is a lot harder. Which is why I often avoid strike maps altogether. They're just too big and too wild and too unpredictable. Obviously, it's way more rewarding when you do hit that shot, that clip on core maps. As you see, heirloom here, it's just brilliant. I hope you guys enjoyed and see you shortly. Peace.
UAV tasking. TACOM, UAV in the air.